Hey everyone, it's Pastor Phil Janish and welcome to our Sunday preparation meditation for this week. You know, when I was growing up, we would often take family vacations and often we would road trip it. I remember one family vacation, we took a road trip all the way from Minnesota to California. And when we would take road trips, my dad would usually drive. And you know what? I gotta admit, I can't recall a single time where I was worried or concerned about getting to the destination. You know, I really wasn't worried about how are we going to get there, where are we going to stay, what are we going to eat. And why wasn't I worried about that? Well, because my dad had that all in his hands, right? He knew the way. If we needed to eat something, he had the power and authority of the wallet and he could buy us food. And he and my mom had planned out places for us to stay. So when we took road trips, again, I wasn't thinking, oh, how are we going to get there? Or, you know, how are we going to be fed or clothed or things like that? No, I knew my dad had that taken care of. So usually I would just sit in the car and take a nap or read a book or bother my sisters or play with my Game Boy or something like that. I didn't worry about those things because my dad had the power and authority. He had it all in control. He had my best interests in mind, so I knew we could get there. I could just enjoy the trip. Now, I bring this up because in our second lesson this coming week, we can draw some really big comfort from it. You see, this coming Sunday, we're going to celebrate Jesus' ascension, when he ascended up into heaven and was seated at the right hand of God the Father. And I just want you to listen to how that position of authority is described in a portion of what will be our second lesson this Sunday. This comes from Ephesians chapter 1, starting at verse 18. The Apostle Paul says, I pray that the eyes of your heart may be enlightened, in order that you may know the hope to which he has called you, the riches of his glorious inheritance in his holy people, and his incomparably great power, that's what we want to focus on, his incomparably great power for us who believe. That power is the same as the mighty strength he exerted when he raised Christ from the dead and seated him at his right hand in the heavenly realms, far above all rule and authority, power and dominion, and every name that is invoked not only in the present age but also in the one to come. And God placed all things under his feet and appointed him to be head over everything for the church, which is his body, the fullness of him who fills everything in every way. So did you catch a few of those things in there? It talked about the incomparably great power of God. And it says that Christ has been seated at the right hand of God the Father, and God the Father has placed Christ over everything. It says he's the head of everything. He's far above all rule and authority, power and dominion. He is above it all. So, you know, if our life were a road trip, you know, Jesus would be the driver. But even better than the driver, you know, Jesus would be a driver who could control the weather and the entire economic and political situation of the country in which you were taking the road trip. You know, he is just above everything. And what is he using his authority and power for? It says he's using it for the church, which is his body, the fullness of him who fills everything in every way. Jesus has power and authority over everything and is directing everything for the benefit of his church, for those people who believe in him. So just like me, when I was a kid sitting in the back of the car and I didn't really worry or wasn't concerned about where we were going to go or where we were going to stay or how we were going to get there, you too can take big comfort in this, that Jesus is directing all things. And he will turn it out for the church's good, for those who believe. So trust in that, and we can just focus on the mission, on showing His love and telling more people about Him and giving them that comfort that Jesus is directing all things for their benefit. So there's a lot of comfort to be had in Jesus' ascension. He ascended into heaven and is seated at the right hand of the Father, and He is above everything, all rule and power and dominion, and He's directing everything for our benefit. So let that thought comfort you until we see each other on Sunday and celebrate Jesus' ascension. Hope to see you there. Bye-bye.